Now, in this section, we talk a little bit about the Free Software Foundation and its role in the development of the Linux operating system, or better, the GNU Linux operating system. Now, in 1984, Richard Stallman, the founder of the Free Software Foundation, founded the Free Software Foundation after leaving the Artificial Intelligence Laboratory at MIT University. The entire premise of the Free Software Foundation is to make software freely available, redistributable, modifiable, studyable, copyable, everything you can think of possible to society. And the reason is the following. Software at the time, and still today, is developed in a proprietary fashion, as you can see with the Microsoft Windows environment, and we're unable to, for the most part, view the source of the programs that we're interested in, and as a result, we're unable to learn, redistribute, modify, copy, etc. So the Free Software Foundation set off to essentially create a Unix that was free, and the pet project, which is now known worldwide, is called GNU, for GNU's Not Unix. Let's open a web browser and visit the GNU.org website. Now, GNU is the major project of the Free Software Foundation, which was founded in 1984 by Richard Stallman. In addition, you should also know that Richard Stallman developed the Emacs editor, which is commonly used within Linux and Unix environments. So it was an editor developed entirely by Richard Stallman with X enhancements added by other people as well. Now let's visit GNU.org. And this is the home site for the GNU project, the major project of the Free Software Foundation. It mentions here it was launched in 1984, and the reason why Linux systems are properly referenced or referred to as GNU Linux systems is because the majority of the applications, programs, utilities that are available within a Linux distribution, including our system here, which is Red Hat Linux, come from GNU.org or from the GNU project. All types of utilities, including one of the major utilities that we take for granted. For example, when you say right button, new terminal, and it launches a shell that takes you to a bash environment, this was written by the GNU or Free Software Foundation under the GNU project. So the simple shell interface, the intuitive bash shell interface into our Linux system is really a GNU software. And many such utilities, such as CP for copy, MV, RM, remove, etc., are all provided by the GNU project. Now, the GNU project also has what is called the GPL, or the General Public License, which is the governing document for all free software that it protects. And it essentially follows what's called a copyleft methodology, or copyleft notion instead of copyright, which says that you can redistribute, modify, make changes to existing software protected by the GPL, providing that you don't make it proprietary. So essentially, if you make changes to any software that's protected by the GPL, you need to redistribute the changes back to the project, back to the community, so others may benefit, modify, change, study, redistribute, etc. In other words, the GPL license provides a framework for keeping software free, so that it doesn't become proprietary and in the hands of only a few. And this is all the brainwork of the Richard Stallman effort in 1984 as a result of the instituting the Free Software Foundation in Massachusetts, which creates the GNU project, which protects, vis-a-vis the GPL, many of the software packages used within the Linux environment. This is the main website, and if you'd like, feel free to make donations and check out whatever other projects they're working on. Now, another thing to keep in mind is that although Linus Torvalds has trademarked the term Linux, and the operating system seems to be attributed to him, or at least most of the credit, it's also important to keep in mind that the majority of most Linux distributions contain software directly from GNU, from the Free Software Foundation. So most, if not all, Linux distributions are properly referred to as GNU/Linux because of the contents. The Linux kernel was developed by Linus Torvalds, and that's the heart of the operating system. In addition, the GNU project also has a kernel that they're working on, which is called the Herd project, which many Linux distributors, including Mandrake, have plans for including that particular kernel in future releases of their Linux distributions. So once again, the GNU project allows software to be free and remain free. It's protected by the general public license, which is located here at GNU.org or at Free Software Foundation. And there's all sorts of information here that you can read and learn about how the community functions, how it operates. Now, we'll go back to a shell. We'll show you an example of one of the major tools, Emacs, that is. We can do an RPM query on Emacs, or we can do a man Emacs, you'll see. And this is software written by Richard Stallman, the original creator of the Free Software Foundation, and the majority of the GNU software that's included in many of the Linux distributions. Another thing you should know is that the GCC, or GNU C compiler, was created entirely by the Free Software Foundation and by Richard Stallman. Now, it's important to know that the C compiler that we use for the most part for creating applications or creating binaries in our systems was created by GNU, because in the Unix world, the Linux world, we tend to get source or the sources of applications, and in order to use those sources in our systems, we need to compile it to binary format. The GCC provides a utility or provides a tool necessary for compiling from source C to binary C for a particular architecture. So GCC is a C compiler that was freely developed, freely available, and still freely available, whereas most commercial C compilers can easily run thousands of dollars to convert simply source C to binary C. So that's another great achievement, another great accomplishment of the Free Software Foundation and Richard Stallman. We can RPM query GCC, and if it's installed on your system, you'll see the version that's installed, and we can do a QI. You'll see that Red Hat's a distributor for this particular distribution. But once again, the GCC compiler was created by the GNU Software Foundation, or the Free Software Foundation. So you need to understand the importance of the GNU project, the Free Software Foundation, in bringing Unix-like capabilities to the PC platform, to the masses. Now, it's important that you understand that, because the PC is available to the masses. Proprietary RISC architecture systems that are prevalent in the Unix world are not. PCs are widely available. So you combine the efforts of the GNU project with ubiquitous PCs and the GNU Linux offering, you now have available the power that was once restricted to only select clients such as universities, financial firms, hospitals, etc., now in the hands of the average person. And as a result, we can take the software and create additional software for the good of mankind. So when you get a chance, do some research on GNU.org, read up on copyleft and the advantages, the benefits, the protection, etc., and educate yourself on the purpose of GNU. But GNU keeps software free. That's the bottom line. And if you release software under the protection of the GPL, the General Public License, it is protected as such. It's freely redistributable, it's modifiable, it's studyable, etc.